We can start the podcast whenever. So we're just having a conversation. One
And
point
we're
in
just
time, we'll
moving
just start.
slowly to things you like.
Yeah.
I know you like music, Patrick. Yeah.
You want to start already? It feels like a segue. It feels like a segue to a start.
Segue. Yes, but we can start from...
I see you. So yeah.
So good morning in this beautiful day. My friend Patrick, December 15, and we are starting with the best interview of your life. So far.
Yeah, I mean, one can say that. That's a way to start. So yeah, thank you for giving me the chance to have the best interview of my life with you, of course. Andrii, you're a true genius. You're an artist in my eyes. You're a table tennis champion.
You're a table
I'm
tennis
a champion, but I'm training you too.
I lost to you, yes.
Yeah, I'm training you because I see spirit in you that very few people have, and the table tennis is real deal for us. So yeah, but other than the table tennis, we usually talk about real cool subject matters. And one of the subject matters we talked about was like, if I had a public relations team, what kind of questions would they want others to ask me? Yeah. And we had this conversation on a Sunday night.
Pizza traveling.
Yeah, we went to a pizzeria called Pizzi, and after that I was like, well, dude, I don't have a 5-person team, but I will come up with questions in no time. So I gave myself less than 12 hours, and here we are. 12 hours later, we're recording a semi-edited, semi-real, semi-super cool, oh my god, the champions
super cool,
are talking.
Not without semi.
Yes.
It's like super cool.
Well, semi-super cool, the best.
Semi the best.
Yeah.
That's how best things happen in life. You like decide to do it, and the next day you're doing it. That's how everything should happen.
Probably true.
Yes.
Probably true. So you are my PR team now.
I am. It's my pleasure to be a PR team today.
Thank you. Not just today,
and maybe
forever.
Not just today, forever.
Yeah.
Each time we go for pizza, I can be a PR team.
Yeah, and you'll be like, Patrick, you shouldn't have said that. We should cut this, or like, Patrick, you
can go with whatever you like.
Oh, that's good.
It will be raw. It will be real. It will be impactful.
Oh, thank you. So, feel free to take it away. What do you have for me?
I have for you probably the most favorite topic of you. Each time I meet you, you like to show me new songs, and I know you're a big fan of Apple Music. You listen a lot of music. Every time I meet you, like you playing me songs. I have a theme song.
I gifted you a playlist.
Yes, you gifted me a playlist. I also have a playlist for you, but I will gift it to you. Like you're the greatest Apple fan. And there is something about Gary Vaynerchuk and Apple that you wanted to share. Like how all this connect. Apple Music, Gary Vaynerchuk, and you.
Yes. Gary Vaynerchuk and me and Apple Music are like connected all the way through because Gary Vaynerchuk was a person and is a person who made an original for Apple, which was called Planet of the Apps. And Planet of the Apps was a online television series for Apple back when Apple TV did not even exist. So they put it out on Apple Music. And then the concept of the show was that there are developers who could make apps and change the world. And I was like, oh. Well, I was like very young at the time when this came out, so I was like, let me check it out. Do I have any access to this? No, I have to be a subscriber to Apple Music. I had an Android phone. Well, I realized you can download Apple Music even on an Android phone. So I had a Sony phone back then when Sony was making like phones. It was amazing. It was way back. And but it was a good phone. I loved it. And so I downloaded Apple Music on this phone. And I was hooked on this series. And there were like developers, designers, like thinkers and builders and genius people who were literally coming up with cool app concepts that they thought could make a difference. And so I was like, I saw this because I'm a subscriber of Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube. He's like a cool guy to follow, I think. A media mogul and a manager of a big business. So I think he's a cool guy to follow. And definitely has his own style, I should say. So some people freak out because of his own style, but I think it's authentic. So yeah,
I think he is authentic. And I listen to him as well. Not so much lately, but it was impactful for me. Like to listen to him, he's preaching, and like you don't have time. He's very convincing.
Pretty cool. So yeah, and then so after that, I checked out the show and I was hooked because I got like a 3-month free membership if you subscribe for the first time, or at the time that it was working that way. And I was like, okay, the show went on. I checked out all the episodes in like a couple weeks, and then I was like, what am I gonna do? Well, listen to good music. And then there are like so many artists on Apple Music that I found a soulful connection with through their music, but not otherwise. And then I realized on Apple Music they have radio shows, like Elton John has a radio show, The Rocket Hour with Elton John. And so I was hooked on listening to these like radios, but very well crafted, amazing experiences all the time. They come out a lot. Sometimes, for example, the Zane Lowe show that comes out every day, and the Elton John puts out like new music every week or somehow like that, or sometimes daily. But I think these experiences have shaped me to be a better listener and also to be more creative, because these songs have inspired me to keep thinking and creating.
Do you have any song or like any artist your top fan?
Yes.
Like you know this end of the year, Apple Music and other platforms prepare you like list your top fan of these songs, your top fan of these bands. Do you have like the best of the best?
Yes, so I'm a top fan of a young artist from Hungary. She's a Spanish-Hungarian artist.
Oh, it sounds so cool.
Yeah, she is Dominika Sava. So she's an amazing artist. I interviewed her before. It's online. So people can check that out if they're interested. And I'm also like a top 100 listener of You God. You God from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes, yeah.
Killer
so
bees.
I have like that credentials. And I'm also like a top fan of Kendrick Lamar. So I think Kendrick Lamar is an amazing artist. My first ever concert in life was a Kendrick Lamar show.
It was in Budapest?
Yeah, Budapest at the Sziget Festival. Back in 2018, I think, or 17, something like that. So yeah, and I don't think anyone can top that. So it was like my first experience, and the best experience for life. So that was perfect. I hope he's gonna come back.
Oh, I think he will.
Yeah.
Like if you're a top fan from Hungary, he just cannot resist it.
Yeah.
Are there any future in Apple Music that like keeps you in the loop, besides of having this great content? Like, do you think there's some technical features that's like really good?
Yeah, so I think the fact that iTunes and Apple Music work hand in hand is a good thing. I'm the kind of person that buys songs still.
You're buying songs?
Yes, because I know the people who are making it. Thank you. Because like I know it's not a lot, but like I'm somehow want to support this artist, and I also like gift people songs because like it's just $1 or $2 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what's your email address? I'll send you a song I bought on iTunes for you. And then they're like, you bought songs for me? And so I did it for like 20 people, and then with the same artists. Carl Brown, for example, and he was like touched by this one because he was like, dude, I got $20, that's like a meal for me, that's amazing, and I got it because you were sharing my music through iTunes. So yeah.
That's such a kind gesture, and like such creative gesture. Like nobody now, at least in my experience, nobody is gifting songs, especially from like unknown artists, so I think it's great experience.
Thank you so much. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah. Let's move to your listening experience.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know you're listening a lot to Zane Lowe. could you talk a little bit about his interviews? What is inspiring for you? Why you listening to him? And maybe, well, we can move to other questions later. Yeah, but like, what is your experience with Zane Lowe and why you listening to him?
Yes, so Zane Lowe is the head of Apple Music, I believe, and he's a DJ.
Yeah.
And he's the best. We talked about like being like semi-great and all this. He's the all-time when it comes to music. Oh my God! But you don't necessarily want to be only like be good in music. You can be a great DJ and be a great person. But he's just such a. I don't know how he does it. I try to when it comes to the greats, I study the greats. And then when it comes to the art of communication and the art of asking questions, I think it's an art form too. And he often prepares for hours and days for good interviews, and then he throws it all away. And then he says, I have prepared enough. Now it's time to be present with you. Now it's time to be real in the moment and embody the questions and ask the questions that I feel like you and I should talk about. So that's what I heard. That's why I heard what he does. I have never met him, but he liked my tweet once. So I was that was like perfect.
The best praise you can get.
Yeah. So I was like so happy. I was happy for a week or even a month.
What was it?
I literally reached out to him. There's like, hey, I listen to Apple Music. Thanks for bringing the Zane Lowe show all the way through here to Budapest. Thanks. And he liked it. Yeah. So that was cool. And so other than that, I think his style is like really relaxed and really immersive. When I say immersive, I think it means like the other kind of interview show I really like is called Hot Ones with Sean Evans. And I think he's really immersive too, but his way of the show is set up so that Sean Evans and people who go to the show eat hot chicken wings.
Hot chicken wings.
Yes, and they cry because it's so hot and all that good stuff, and they get real.
Do you think we should do it like
Probably we should do it. Yeah. We're gonna. Yeah. There you go.
We're gonna do it.
It's
we're gonna do it like
in
hot
the
chicken
makings.
wings and some very hot topics.
Yeah.
Like the most hot topics so far.
I was gonna say, so that's how he makes people feel real and get in the moment with them, because he eats the same thing.
You need to be real.
You're really gonna be real. Yeah. And then with Zane Lowe from Apple Music, I think he does not need hot chicken wings to make people feel real and present and cool. So yeah, that's his magic. Yeah, so that's why I love listening to that, and I aspire to be somewhat like him.
Are there any specific question which Zane Lowe uses, like in every interview or like every second interview, that you think, or you are using as well now?
I stole from him?
Yes.
Yeah. So, where were you when this song came to you? For example, I noticed that he uses this question a lot.
Okay.
I'm not saying like every single time, of course it would be repetitive and all that good stuff, but it's a great question, because ideas and songs can come to you all the way through, like from going on a road trip to like sitting on your sofa and drinking a tea, right? So yeah. And so where were you when this song, or where were you when the album title came to you or something like that? So these are like cool questions that I have asked artists before as well.
Back to Zane, what pulls you in? Do you think it's guests, or is it a person of Zane? Or you think it's a synergy between them, two of them?
Well, it's probably a synergy, right? So, but I oftentimes I know his show, so I believe in the quality of his show and the quality of his questions.
So my question is mainly are you watching it to learn how to be a better podcaster, or are you enjoying guests who are coming to a show?
It's honestly an amazing question. So I had this follow up, because when it comes to magicians and illusionists, they oftentimes ask for a volunteer to come up on stage and ask that volunteer to perform a magic trick with them. And then after that, everybody gets an applause, but who gets the credit? It's the magicians, it's the illusionists who gets the credit. And I feel like a great interview is like the opposite. You volunteer to do these questions, and you don't get the credit for it. Someone else will get the guests will get the credit, the artists will get the credit, the painter or the musician will get the credit. But it was the best show ever because of you, because you volunteered, right? So that's my interpretation of what a good interview could be. Yeah. And here you are as a volunteer, my pretty volunteer right over here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to do it. So I'm enjoying questions and I'm enjoying your energy. So let's go for another topic.
Yes.
Books and interviews. And there was an interview with Mr. Beast from New York Times on DL Book Summit. And there was a rumor that someone you look up into this interview. So can you elaborate more about it? Like who are from New York Times this person you're looking up to?
Sure.
Tell me a secret.
Sure. So, people have criticized, newspapers ever since newspapers have been around. And I think it's fair to criticize newspapers because they tell a perspective and a narrative, and perspective and narratives can come in many forms, in many ways. They're often opposing. So it's fine to criticize. As a matter of fact, I think it should be encouraged because criticism can be often useful criticism. But back in the day, back in my day, when people read books.
Do you read books now?
I read books still. I write books too. So
you write books, I know.
Yeah. But so back in my day, I had a chance to learn from a visiting professor who has worked for the New York Times for about 14 years, I believe, and he was working for the New York Times book review. And he is such an inspiration to me. I had a chance to take a class with him. His name is...
I remember, you told me, yes. It was in Canada.
Yeah. In Toronto. Yes. This was my first ever semester in university. And I was like, I don't know where the grocery shop is. I don't know what's up. But I know I'm taking a class with this professor. Yeah, with this professor. So this was such a fantastic experience. Let me tell you this. So the class was full. I don't even know how I got in. I probably got in because the people who lived in the residence where I was living, I was hosting the visiting professor. So they made a VIP entrance for the enrollment. And so I was like, okay, sure, I'll enroll in this class. Most people in that class were third year and fourth year journalism or media majors. And they really wanted to be big time journalists or big time people who produce the media out there. And I was just, sitting in the middle, always sit in the middle with my notepad and just taking notes about this seminar that he has, because it was such a seminar that not only these fourth and third year journalism major people went to from my school, that was also a seminar that was inviting other journalists from the Globe and the Mail, which is a Canadian great publication, and the Star, Toronto Star, all these fascinating magazines and newspapers, because they want to learn from this fascinating journalist called Sam Tannenhouse. And he was teaching a controversial but very exciting topic, and he named his seminar Trump and the Media. This was at a time when President Donald Trump was during his first presidency, and everybody was questioning, is he gonna be a good or bad president? Well, we never really talked about this kind of question. The real topic of interest during this seminar was how the media covers the inquiries and the journey of potentially the most interesting person, Donald Trump, the president at the time. So our syllabus, the syllabus being something that is written prior to the seminar, prior to the semester, and what's up, our syllabus was changing, as you could imagine, every single week because of the crazy presidency of Donald Trump and all this good stuff. And so we were learning throughout a period of the midterms election, when there could have been made changes in the Senate, And also not only in a summit, but also in something that was like super major importance to the United States, which was about judges and juries in the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And so there was a person called Judge Kavanaugh, Brett Kavanaugh,
Okay.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh, and he at the time, and we saw this live as it was happening, Lindsay, who accused Judge Kavanaugh of rape that happened 30 years ago at their university or college times. So this was pretty unheard of news to have somebody who's going for the Supreme Court judge, basically the highest honor or highest position in and leadership in a political role, and then be accused of such an undignified movement or manner. And so what was super weird is that we didn't know what was going on, and we didn't know who to believe in. So during the class, when the seminar happened, we were seeing this testimonial live from, I think her name was Lindsay Lacy Ford. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But yeah, so, and Judge Kavanaugh, and Judge Kavanaugh cried in front of the jury of decision makers. And he testified that he did nothing that he's accused of. But in our minds, it was like, but why is he accused then? So this remained an open mystery to us, and the New York Times covered it as like a voice question, and then there was like these pins that you could put a button on top of your shirt or something like that, and I got one of those back at home, and it says like, she has a voice too. So, and then I think it's just such a critical moment in history when we realize everybody has a voice, therefore we should like behave accordingly up to those standards that we believe in. Otherwise, people will call us out on our unjudged or unmeaningful behavior. And so that was a crazy moment in history, as you can imagine. But that was just one class. And I came back the next week. And then the next week I was like, yeah, so we talked about, do you want to know what the next week was?
Yeah, you can go through, like, was it like whole semester of lectures?
Yeah, the whole semester of lectures. Yeah. So this was like, I got an A.
So it's like,
I got an A in this class, by the way.
Emotional journey.
A whole emotional, amazing journey. I loved it. So yeah. So the next week, our visiting professor, Sam Tannenhouse, from who worked previously for the New York Times, really came in and said, guys, I think I got good news for myself, and I'd like to show it with you. If you buy the Time magazine this month, I'll be on the cover of Time magazine with my story. He didn't phrase it this way. He was just like, I've got good news. He was just like, yeah, if you buy this magazine, this story will be, and then it was like, who's this story by? It's like, well, I wrote it. Yeah. So that was super cool. What was the story about? So the cover of Time magazine at the time was, this new term, Trumpism, stay. And he predicted, Sam Tannenhouse wrote, I think it's an opinion editorial essay in a Time magazine, but I may be incorrect about this, that he believed, he believed that, yes, Trumpism will be here to stay beyond 2030 and above. He was right, because Trump got reelected, not immediately because Joe Biden, but Trump got reelected. And he was, to this day, I was like, how can he be such a master genius? Of course, Time magazine already recognized him as a master genius. No wonder they put it on the cover. But yeah, to my mind, as a first-year first year physics student, just studying like journalism and what it can be, I was just blown away. So I think you need that kind of inspiration, and you need this kind of like cool thing in your life if you have it and when you have it.
Talking about inspiration, if you have now like 30 minutes with Sam Tonhouse, are there any questions you want to ask him?
Yes.
What will be those questions?
So shout out to Sam Tannenhouse for teaching us and for letting people in to his world. He was very keen on in understanding narrative. And I have this, I'll tell you an example and I'll tell you my question. So the example, what he showed us was that in CNN or other news outlets of like television channels, the presenter often, when the voting happens, there's a live feedback of the voters. And you can see like voting came in from this area, this state, voting came in from this area, this state. Oh, this is green, this is red, this is blue, this is red, this is blue. And the green states were unavailable just yet. So, so there was like a real anticipation of a victory. Who's gonna win, the win or the blue? And it was like an obvious question. You could understand this as a race. And I, like as a supporter, wanted my team to win, right? So then somebody asked a question after we talked about this in class that like, so what's a good way to present things if not in a narrative? And he was like, you know, that's a good question, I'll think about it. And when a professor says, I'll think about it, no answers. Just like, we don't know. So I would want to know, like, my understanding of truth is that it's the highest virtue and it's perhaps part of life to the highest grounding. And but I think truth is a narrative too. So, and there's this, yeah. And so if truth can set you free, then is it correct for us to say a narrative can set you free? And I believe this is a cool question, perhaps for him, because he is a master of narratives and he's written biographies of people who lived and worked hard, and he has amazed people with his stories. But how does he do that? How does he set a character free, and how does a character become free from their, you know, what they want to be free from?
Talking about narratives which can set you free, I think it's something that can win you a Pulitzer Prize. And I know that Sam Tonhouse inspired you to actually to go and to write and to win the prize. Why did it matter for you? Like, what is the story behind this inspiration?
Yeah, so that's a good question again. Well, I was born in 1998, and in 1998 he was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize for his biography, and that's a pretty cool nomination, I think. So I love that. But the Pulitzer Prize is also like something that's connected to Hungary, where I'm from. And it's named after a Jewish Hungarian American man, Joseph Pulitzer, who is from a small town of, I think, Mako, that's what it's called, near the city of Sunshine, near the city of Szeged, where I'll be traveling to soon. So yeah, and he had to flee the country because of those times, and he thought that he arrives to America, right? And he reads these magazines and newspapers, and he thinks, this is not good. Like, I could do better. So he sets up his own company, and he does better. He does very well. So people love his stories. People love his narrative. As far as I understand it, this was his huge success. And then But then how does he do it? So he has he believes that journalism should be held to a higher standard. And whatever.
What is a higher standard?
I don't know that. I mean, I haven't won the Pulitzer Prize yet, or I don't know, but.
But do you have like a...
Yeah. One of the...
Your understanding?
Yeah, one of my understandings is that a higher standard means to them that it shouldn't convey things that are not true. But that's the definition of like not true, but then what should it convey then? And then it should be like an attempt to convey as best as possible the narrative that is true. And the question like what is narrative and what is truth, right? So that's another question. I tried to think about these very hard when I had the chance to get a lot of free time. There was a period in time in history when people had a lot of free time, or not many, maybe doctors didn't, but there was this coronavirus thing happening. I know it's crazy to think about it. For people who have lived through that, it's crazy. For people who haven't lived through that, because there will be a generation who are like gonna read about this in history textbooks. I thought I would entertain those people who haven't lived through this. And so my idea was that if I were to entertain and tell stories about this era of the corona times, this virus happening globally, how would I best inform my grandchildren about this, perhaps? And so, because if I tell them like, oh, that was just bad, crazy times, that's probably like a story, but like not a convincing narrative that is like, because for some people they have met their lives, they met their loved ones more so than ever. They flew home, right? So this is a thing. Some people haven't had the chance to do that actually. So yeah, it's life did not stop in that sense. But the cause of the events were uncertain and unclear, perhaps to this day, right? But I was so like dedicated to figure this out. I was like, even if the cause is uncertain and unclear, is there a right thing to do here, right? And I was like, okay, let me. At the time, I was part of the New York Academy of Sciences, and at the New York Academy of Sciences, there was a lecture about this virus, which was given by, what's his full name? Fauci,
yes.
Yeah. Dr. Fauci. That's
Dr.
what he's
Fauci.
called.
I don't remember. But I remember some name because it was very famous. Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Anthony Fauci, I believe. So yeah. And so I had a chance to like listen to his lecture, and which was about like how to make the best out of the situation, I should assume, but making the best out of the situation sound like a horrible nightmare to me. So first of all, I opposed this kind of like lockdown narrative, which was, I was not only alone about this, but like most of my friends were like opposed to this, so much so that actually we rented an office building, because office buildings were like super cheap back then because nobody could go. And we as a youthful group just went to office every day. And we were like 10, sometimes 8, 9, 7, whatever, how many people. It was just a free welcoming space for those who realized it sucks not to see people. So yeah, there was a movement, an underground movement that came out of this, which I was writing about as well. It was an amazing underground movement. And then we did this, of course, because the universities were closed down as well, and the restaurants were closed down as well, so we couldn't meet anywhere. And so, yeah, and then I came across this narrative that the American... what is it? Institute for Economic Research, I think.
Yeah.
Put forward for that the lockdown narrative is hurting the economy, but it's also hurting the people, and it's also violating some sort of human rights, which I don't know much about because again I didn't win the Pulitzer Prize, but at the same time I was like, hey, if literally part of this institution says that it's like not bueno to do this, maybe we should listen to those. Again, back to the question, like, should everyone have a voice? I believe everyone should have a voice. So if there are people of wealth and background who say this lockdown narrative is not okay, I wanted to listen to them. So I did.
I think you're talking about Great Barrington Declaration.
Yes.
Now, can you tell me how you heard about it? Maybe someone told it about you, or how you learned about this?
Yes.
I mean, it was part of your research of COVID and your attempt to win a Pulitzer Prize.
Yes.
But can you tell me more?
Absolutely. So I had the best time in Hungary when there was like an era of the Festival of the Future called Brain Bar, when they had it at the Corvinus University, I believe for 2 years or maybe more. And they invited everyone from all across the planet who was a leading thinker, a leading influencer of thought, to give a presentation. And one of the people who presented in Hungary, in my hometown in Budapest, was Jeffrey Tucker, who's I believe, well, dude, he has so many titles because he founded like so many things, but people should look him up. He's an influencer when it comes to anarcho-capitalism. And anarcho-capitalism is like a form of movement. I think it originates from the foundational, what's Austrian economics? Yep, and it means that you and I can have exchanges without a third-party beneficiary. And
Bartering, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's a huge proponent and advocate for Bitcoin, which at the time sounded like a cool thing, perhaps still do today. I think it still does today. Yeah, but more and more governments are shutting it down or something, so I don't know if I should, like, yeah, whatever, we'll see what happens. Yeah, but yeah, and so Jeffrey Tucker initiated, I believe, as a leader in this movement, the crafting and the making and the signing of the Great Barrington Declaration, which declared that the rights of the people should be in place, as according to them, and that the lockdown narrative should not necessarily be used because they declared that it's useless. Now, I don't know, and again, that was a question in my mind. Mm-hmm. To what extent does the lockdown narrative was useless? I don't know. But I tried to figure it out so much so that I was like, okay, if I was super smart, I could make a mathematical model. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm a doctor. I don't know how viruses spread or anything. So I knocked on somebody's door who's a friend of mine. Okay, so the story is like I traveled 2 hours to see this person. 2 hours is a lot of time for me, by the way, whatever. And then I see this person and I tell this person that, hey, I think we should like figure this out together. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be cool? And this person was like, yeah, it will be cool, but I don't have time for this, sorry. And I was like, no! And I had to go back home like
2 hours.
Yes. In the cold winter. So yeah. When there was a curfew, by the way.
Have at least this person like shared some tea with you or
No, nothing.
Nothing. It's just like, go away, Patrick.
Yes, it was like, yes, sorry, I don't have time for this. And by the way, there was a curfew in place, mm-hmm. So it was like, I'm going out illegally. So the curfew meant that I should not be out after 8 p.m. because people shouldn't go out after 8 p.m. Questionable if that's a good or bad thing, but like, yeah. So I'm semi-still friends with this person. I'm not saying the best friends, but like, we have honestly. And then after that, I was considering like, am I a bad salesman? So people tell me like, if you have a good idea, you should sell it real good. And at that point, I was like, maybe I'm just a bad salesman. So I started focusing on sales and techniques on how to tell people what I think is important and tell them what it means to me and them. So yeah.
You know, I think the part of a good salesman is to know beforehand if the person have time for you. So if person genuinely doesn't have time and like have some plans, you can go for them, like you can try to sell them everything you want, but it will not work. Yeah.
That's true. Well, now you know the story too. So, yeah. So, but then again, I was so like, first of all, I didn't have any better thing to do.
Okay. So you decided time to just go like traveling.
I was like, that's it.
In winter.
But the other thing was like, I was so committed. That it's like, I want to know the truth. I want to get to the bottom of this because this whole narrative doesn't make sense to me. Because like at the same time, like it makes zero sense. It made zero sense to me at the time. I understood that there was like a public communication, like through all channels of media, telling you that you should wear masks and telling you that you should do this and that. And I understood that, and I was complying. It wasn't like a mask opposer or something like that. Much like there were people in the parliament, and much like there were people in the White House as well who were not wearing masks, even though they were supposed to. Right? I was just a regular guy trying to understand it, but it didn't work. It didn't work to the extent that I wanted to, because to this day I still don't understand it.
So about understanding, do you still want to win Pulitzer Prize? Like today, has it evolved with you, or you still have the same goal, or maybe like you're in the same mindset?
Yeah. So honestly, I love these goals because like you as a person can change too, right? So at the time when I was like, okay, schools are shut down. Okay, work is shut down. Offices are not existing. I'm part of an underground movement to literally meet with friends. What can I do? And at the time, I tried to learn things. One of the things was writing, because I thought, even at the worst of times, writing couldn't be banned. And if writing is banned, then this is no-go society. So yeah. But today, I feel like we live in a different time when a different sort of intelligence emerging, and that could pick better narratives perhaps than I would. So it's not that I undervalue my own self. I just think that, you know, a new form of intelligence, artificial intelligence, could perform better journalism, better narrative, if we wanted to someday, I think. So yeah.
So tell me about, again, talking about the prize. Do you think do you want recognition? Do you like just enjoy writing? Or maybe it's about your identity, like you will feel better about yourself if you win the prize? Or like you just like to write and like it's your way of expressing yourself?
Yeah, perhaps the prize doesn't even matter, but I think I always say this, that the prize doesn't even matter, but you should always aim to get it, right? Because if you don't aim to anything, you fall to the dust. And I think that's no bueno. So you should definitely aim to get a thing. And then usually when I set out to, you know me at this, Andrii. When I set out a goal for myself, I go for the biggest, most ludicrous.
2 hours,
yes. So there you go. So
talking about goals, you work a lot.
Yeah.
You work a lot for your models. And I know you made some very good progress with the prediction of blood glucose. Tell me about, imagine this crazy situation. You're working on your project, on your best model, and your computer gets hacked, and like all your work basically getting destroyed in a moment. You can lose all your work in a very short period of time. What you will do? How will it affect you? How you will cope with it?
Yeah, that's a very good question, man. So I have been hacked before, and it was not a good situation. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So there's this Apple commercial. I love Apple commercials, and there's this Apple commercial that's about like a computer being stolen. And then someone literally a physical computer stole, but they recovered because they can track it with a GPS and something like that. And I was like, okay, they got it back, okay, and but they need to get it to like the IT guy to check everything. And at the IT guy, there's a line, and at the line there's a girl, and the girl says, "Hey, I got hacked again." And then and I was like, she says it like so nonchalantly, like chill, everything. I got hacked again. Well, that was not my reaction when I got hacked, man. Okay, first of all, I'm a good listener of music. I'm a big music fan. I have an iPod. I no longer use that iPod, but I have an iPod Touch. Okay, so this is a device literally dedicated to make music and work for you and let you listen to music. And I gave that to my girlfriend at the time, and I didn't realize like all my passwords are on there. But I gave it to her for like one night to just put music on it.
Yeah.
She was a computer scientist, so way smarter than me. You know, I date people who are way smarter than me, so yeah, that's the truth.
That's a good approach. Yeah.
Yes. And she literally, like, but by the way, like, so I go to her place and then I give her the iPod. The next morning I leave. And then my iPod starts misbehaving. And I was like, it didn't misbehave 5 minutes ago. What's up? I was just checking my iPod next to breakfast. How come it's not behaving the same way? Whatever. So in my mind, I'm like, what are the chances that she did something with this? Very high, of course, right? Because in my imagination,
Physical
like,
access,
of course, almost like guaranteed. But I imagine, like, okay, but what is the chance if she did not do nothing, and there was somebody else hacking into my old? This is not a new thing. This is an old iPod, right? So yeah, and. So I started using the camera. The camera flipped upside down, then flipped upside down, then gave me a message that's like, haha. And I was like, whoa, I really got hacked. Like, guys, I couldn't do screen record because this is an old device. But I was like, really like, dude, crazy. And then I went home. I was like, okay, this was a funny, cool thing, whatever. I open up my laptop. On my laptop, boom, pop up. What's this pop up? We need your credit card information. And I was like, what the effing freaking whoa. So again, at that point I was like, is this girl messing with me? But then again, if she's not, then no. I got 17 notifications of random people just texting, and then these texts were like unreadable or like in many languages that I didn't speak. So I was like, what? So that was a crazy accident, and this was still during the Corona times. So I was like, what am I gonna do? The police probably not gonna help me because they don't know how to hack into the frame or something like that. So I tried calling the girlfriend, and she didn't pick up, and I was like, yeah. So then I was like, okay, let me play along. Let me play along with this. The play along was like, I click on the computer things. Like, I don't click on the pop-up, but just click on my browser. I click on the browser. I hear voices. Voices coming from the computer. And I was like, what the hell? So sketchy, man. It was like first of all, it was like a horror movie, and I don't like horror movies, and it was like the worst experience of my life. So yeah, and I realized I should have been more chill. I should have been like the girl who was like, I get hacked again, whatever. So yeah, that's definitely the attitude from that point on, I tried to cultivate in my life. Yeah.
So it becomes like, being chill becomes your habit. Do you have any other security habits?
Security habits?
Yes, you have after you got hacked.
Yeah. Well, I not double save things. Like I have a hard drive with me, so I have to save it on there, and I have an other hard drive that's for backup purposes. So so that's good. But also, I literally, to back to your question, like if everything that I worked on would be like gone.
Yes.
I'll tell you the secret. My backup practice is also like sending random emails to amazing people. And these amazing people are part of my life often. So they're not like super far away. But sometimes I send an amazing email to a friend at a news organization in Toronto. I call him a friend. He's a news anchor. And I'm like, he reads my emails. That's amazing. I just think that's amazing. But I work on those emails enough so that they are good to be read. Right? So that makes sense for me. And in retrospect, I can always just get the email because I think the email is like super on the record. You can look them back up. You can find them. Or if you cannot find them, you can always just email them again and ask them to forward it for you. So yeah. So I do just email backups, hoping that it may matter one day.
Are you encrypting data?
I sometimes do.
Okay.
Do you want me to do that more often?
I think I want you to do. Do you encrypt your hard drive?
With the password, that's it. No.
Okay.
It's a Mac encrypted, so it's only working with a Mac computer, if that's the question.
It will not protect you from hacking, but if someone gets your laptop and you want to save your data, it's a good...
My heart rate is elevating. Oh my God, man. So,
so like, back to your hacking story and elevated heart rate, it was a challenge. It was like a puzzle, I guess.
Yeah, but it's so much so the puzzle, but it's an unsolvable puzzle, I think.
Okay.
Because like, again, who's hacking you? Probably someone who's smarter than you.
Not necessarily.
Well, probably, I think, because like, or they find a loophole somewhere.
Yeah,
and then,
it can be just a loophole. Like it's not.
That's true, but you don't know about that. So if you don't know about that, then in some sense, this person does have an expertise in something that you don't have, right? And then you... by the way, like, it's so crazy, but it raises so many questions, right? So it's like, if not my girlfriend hacked me, who would have been the hacker? Did they live in the same country as me? If they didn't live in the same country as me, why would they want me from Budapest to be the target of their hacking? Is it for the money? Do they not know that I was at the time a cheapo student? So I was like, makes no sense to do this. Is it for the laughs and giggles? Perfect. I love it. Maybe I was the best candidate for a freak out show or something like that.
Horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah, because I
do you have like, do you feel after this threat situation, do you feel uncertainty, like blame, or maybe like I felt overwhelmed? What was your feeling in the moment?
Oh yeah, at the time I was like, well, yeah. So at the time I was like super angry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because
what was your way to cope with this anger?
Remember, these days, most things are on the phone, but if you don't necessarily focus on the phone, most things are on the computer. So I was like, all my life is this device. So what's happening here? Literally, people are like making sounds at this thing and all this, like, what? So, and it's like, my coping mechanism was going to therapy, man.
Okay, how like you went to therapy? Did it make sense of all this hacking history? How it ended?
No, it didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense at all. It's just like wave of anger, sounds from your laptop. But have you lost your data, or it was
no,
actually saved?
Well, thankfully, the question is hypothetical. So the new like machine learning algorithms that I started working on, which are valued more so now, are new things. Back in the day, this was like whatever I had was like information about myself and my family, right? So, yeah, but I didn't want to lose that either, right? So yeah, and the resolution of the therapy was that perhaps it's not personal. Perhaps they did it to 1,100 people, and I was just part of the 1,100 people. But you can never know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, let's change the topic.
Changing the topic.
Yeah. Kevin Kelly, Technium. Kevin Kelly, Technium. What do you like about it?
Yeah, I like that. First of all, Kevin Kelly is an amazing person. He has this concept called the 1,000 true friends. 1,000 true friends is like a concept of like, if you convince a person to give you $100 for a birthday gift.
Yes.
Which can happen. I know it's a lot, but at the same time, it's your birthday, so you can ask for a thing.
Okay.
If you ask 1,000 true fans to give you $100, that's $100,000. That's pretty cool. You can make a living out of that, or more than a living, perhaps. So yeah. So he believes that, and he advocates for this concept, that you should not necessarily want to please 1 billion people. You should please your 1,000 true fans, and that's it. Yeah, but Technium is a book that, or I think he has a book called What Technology Wants, which is a book, and he puts forward an idea that there's a new kingdom in the animal kingdom.
A new kingdom in the animal kingdom?
Yes.
Okay.
And the new kingdom is called technology.
Okay.
And so there are like, mammals, lizards, all these good stuff, but there's technology.
Technology.
Yeah.
Ones are like lizards live.
Yeah.
Technological lizards.
I don't know, man, but like he makes this book read like, oh my God, like you read it in a day. Like this is that super cool, that's super important, that's super fascinatingly awesome and amazing. And so I picked up in the library and I was like reading it. And I was like convinced that this is the best book ever. So What Technology Wants by Kevin Kelly, Patrick said it first, it's the best book ever. So yeah. And
it's your favorite book?
So far, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it really gives you like a narrative of like all these things about technology. By the way, like technology is a good thing in my view, but all these things about technology can be seen in different ways as well. And one of the different ways is it's an animal kingdom.
Do you use this idea like to make any of your decisions? Do you like use this idea in your real life after reading the book?
Yeah. So, for example, there are people out there who have pets, but they don't let the pets in their bed. I don't let my phone be with me in my bed.
Okay, that's a whole idea. Like you treat your technological devices as a part of.
You treat it with care and love, much like how.
Do you think you should treat it
animals
with care and love like things? Because it's still a thing. It's not like a real animal.
Yeah, I know that, but
my opinion, like you should really use your things, like to the point when they fall, getting destroyed. But it's a thing. You use it fully.
I get it. I usually treat it with care and love, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. But also constraints, right? So and the constraints make sense most of the time, right? So now it's like even on Instagram or most places, you can see if someone's in sleeping mode. And if someone is in sleeping mode, you don't expect them to have like an immediate response, right? So that makes sense to me. But other than that, the other concept that maybe it's not the right thing to say, but I think it's just like it. I have a device on me right now too, and some people complain about their devices, and I feel like, dude, it's an animal living with me.
Tell me more about your device. I know you're wearing a glucose monitor. You're continuously measuring your glucose. And you said to me it reminds you operating system, Linux-based, called Ubuntu. Tell me more about it. Why?
Yes. So Ubuntu is a concept that I am because we are. And I believe in this. Like, if there wasn't like engineers and doctors working together on a great project of like saving lives, then I wouldn't be here. So yeah, I'm thankful for the people who have come before me, and I'd like to be part of the people who make a potential difference for others. And Ubuntu is a great concept, I believe. It comes from a great African continent. And yeah, so I'm wearing a continuous glucose monitor for that, to monitor my blood glucose and to get the best out of life. And this little animal on my upper arm is, it's just like, it's like if I was a shark, there are little tiny fish that eat the things on the shark and clean it. I love those little tiny fish too.
You should work for Ubuntu. You know, they always post this job openings, and they are remote, and they have technical writing, they have like software positions. I applied once and I received this whole list of questions I need to answer.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's they actually recruit people all the time, and it's not so complicated to get there. You just need to be good at writing.
Perfect. Yeah. I'll try my best.
Yeah, you should try. I think you will fit.
Thank you.
And talking about technology, talking about continuous glucose monitor, Ubuntu, and small fish, do you feel like the data you're collecting now?
Yes.
Does it change, because you're always monitoring your blood glucose? Does it change your decisions? Like, you're now in codependency with the device, with your little animal. You're taking your phone with in your bed. But now it's not your phone, it's your glucose monitor, it's always in your body. Does it change your behavior?
Yes, it does change my behavior because I eat more little things. Yes. So I literally like eat honey and it's just like a scoop of honey or something, but I eat it to make sure that it's in the right balanced way. And but does it change who I am? That's a good question. So I always go with this paradigm that it's like, are you just a number? And then
are you? And
then the obvious like refusal to that you feel, or everybody feels, right? Is like, no, I'm not just a number. But when your blood glucose is below a certain level, and you can measure that, and you say like, this is ridiculously out of whack, then you feel like this number defines how you feel and behave, right? And at that point, you feel like, well, I wish I would be more than just a number, but I'm just a number right now because I'm out of balance. So it's the paradox, I say, because I wish to be more than just a number, but I know that sometimes I have to be just a number. Perhaps that doesn't sound right, but this is how I feel, and it's a paradox, right? I'm more than just a number, but sometimes I'm really just a number.
For me, it's not a paradox. For me, it sounds totally right, because you are your body, and you can ignore your body for a long time, but eventually, if you don't feel good, you can sing good. So, you're totally right there. And talking about your thinking and being in your body, you have a health condition, but it's not a fitness condition.
Right.
So let's talk about that. Do you think you're like fit right now? Do you want to improve your fitness? Do you think it's like enough?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about workouts?
Well, you and I have been working out for like 3 days now, so that's good. That's perfect. Yeah, yeah. But to answer the question, I wish I was. Well, I'm ready to be fit. Yeah. My answer is I'm ready to be fit. My like philosophical ways would have taken me to the fact that it's like maybe I'm not that fit, but
how do you measure it?
Yeah, how do you measure it? That's the question. But like I would always, because to be fit means for me to be ready, and for me I'm never ready, but I make myself ready to do something. And with the fit idea too, I make myself fit, so I'm ready to make myself fit. No.
How do you measure your fitness? Like imagine you want to be fit, and like you're making yourself fit. What achieving this goal means to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for me, it's at this point in time weightlifting.
Okay.
So yeah, I love weightlifting.
Do you want to build muscle, or you want like to be a more functional person in the sense like it's not about muscle but about ability to move? You know, are you doing it to be beautiful, to build a Greek body kind of thing, or are you doing it to be really, really functional in everyday situations?
I'm doing it to be beautiful. There you go. There's no other way.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes. I love the good goals, and I love that I want to lift this big much weights or something like that.
Because there is a difference. Like the workout is different if you're doing it for beauty, and workout is different if you're doing it for function.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to the best expert over here. I know. Yeah. But so I do things out of not out of necessity, but out of concern for beauty and love for beauty.
Love for beauty. I like your narrative.
Thank you. It's the truth.
It's truth. Yes. narrative about truth. It is true. It's true. Yeah, you know,
yes.
Like following the truth and love for beauty. Do you think it is true? Like for you, like your narrative, current narrative, like love for beauty, following the truth. Is it true?
Well, I love to think. Yeah, there are questions like, is truth love? Is truth love?
Is it?
Because like, if you follow like this, like, okay, fine. Like, I hate to be criticizing things and movements.
Well, you can criticize.
But
yeah, it's a safe space.
Okay, thank you. But like, there's this "Don't Die" movement, which I love. I'm a part of it, I guess. So yeah. But like, giving it up, giving up a pizza slice. Sometimes I think a pizza slice is like a good thing. So pizza slice is love to me.
Well,
but is it truth?
I mean, is it truth that making
it's good for my body?
Too critical. I don't think in Don't Die movement you actually give up pizza slices. You just need to understand what you eat and how it influences your body. Like,
I know very little about that.
You still need carbohydrates sometimes. So like
sometimes.
Pizza slices, carbohydrates. Like it's energy. Like it's about having correct amount of energy in correct amount of times if you want to live longer.
Yeah, but back to the question, like if I were to say that I live a truthful life, does that truthful life equate to a loving life? And I would welcome more love in my life, I think. So yeah, perhaps that means more truth. I don't know. I like to find out.
Do you think there are parts of your narrative of your life which are not true, but you don't like? It's like your interpretation.
Yes.
What are they?
Almost all of them.
Almost. I agree with you. Are there like the the part of your life which you are the most delusional in your opinion? Like, but it helps you. Imagine
Yes.
like the part of your life you're super delusional, but because you're delusional, it actually makes you effective.
Right. So dude, I'm delusional enough to think that I'm a great software engineer or something, and it helps me even though like I'm a physicist wannabe. So yeah.
Well, you're a physicist. Why you like you have a real education? Yeah.
Thank you. But what I was gonna say that delusional things other than, well, it's hard to point out what I'm being delusional about, because in my mind,
do you think
my mind it's like that's the truth, man. That's what I believe in. Like I'm the best table tennis player, and you're the best table tennis player wanna be. So yeah, it's just like passing on the baton and all that good stuff, right? So yeah, but what can I be delusional about that helps me? I really think that. I wrote a character in one of my plays that wholeheartedly believes they're gonna win the lottery. And he lives his life all the way through with this notion that, life is like life, but one day I'm gonna win the lottery. And he's a positive character. I love this character.
It sounds like a positivity. Very delusional positivity.
Very delusional, but like it's amazing. I think that there's a concrete, chance-based, luck-based, but super cool future for this person.
Let me ask you, like, going to this example.
Yeah, but back to the question. Like, I kind of sometimes feel like I'm this person. Like, I'm delusional about my luck.
Yeah, but there is a difference. Like, imagine being a person who is waiting to win the lottery, and being a person who actually put in action to win the lottery. Like, I think, like, in my opinion, you can be delusional as long as you put in action for things to happen.
Makes sense.
And talking about actions, are there, like, imagine you are in this delusional type of mind, been waiting for a lottery to be won by you, and there is evidence coming that it's so unlikely. Like, what you will do with it? Like, with all this evidence, like you're doing things, you're building your models, you're going out, you're exercising, and so on. Like, you're collecting data, you're collecting real-time data, you're collecting real-life data. What will happen to you if you have evidence that your delusion is not so in line with reality, let's say? Like, will you adapt your thinking? Will you just continue like, whatever, we're still going for it, even if like the chances are really slim? Or you will rethink your approach, how you treat like this evidence that's coming from real world?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think change and pivoting is the word I think that's what I'm looking for, is almost always necessary. So a year ago I thought the biggest thing I could do was track the blood glucose changes for a runner based on kilometer by kilometer. Now I know that I can actually predict someone's blood glucose 20 minutes into the future. I think there's a big difference there. So I like to hope that pivoting within a certain constraint or certain realm of area is a good thing. But most likely, you don't know in advance what you're gonna pivot for or what you're gonna do when that data hits you that this is not working. So you have to like first accept it and then improvise in the moment and then find out what could be better.
Do you have a rule for pivoting? Like,
yeah, I do. Yeah, that's a good question. So I try something 3 times, and this could be like, by the way, this is not like, oh, I tried like weightlifting and it didn't work the first day or something like that. So yeah, I tried something like 3 times, and if it doesn't work out, like for example, I try something for 2 days, 3 days, for example, a computer code, and if it doesn't work for like 2 or 3 days, then I was like, okay, I'll give it 2 or 3 days more, and if it doesn't work, then it's like a 9-day limit. So the 9-day limit is like there.
3 times 9-day limit.
Yeah. And then if it doesn't work for 9 days, or like I really feel like some better way would be better, then I could like try things 3 times. If it doesn't work, then I flip it like 2-3 days later. Yeah, and if it works then the other way around, then it's cool. So yeah, we developed, when I say we developed, my friend Dennis, Dennis and I developed this because like we were trying to make a chat GPT version back in our day, and it was the best time. It was the best time. And we didn't know how to do this. So we were using ChatGPT to recreate ChatGPT. Yeah. And it was the best time again, so we were loving this. But sometimes there was like making absolutely like false hopes for certain narratives that we believed in. For example, like, this could be done, or this could be done, or this could be done. And we had to introduce a rule. And that rule was like, how many times did you try? And if Dennis told me like, I tried once, I was like, try again, man. And then he was like...
Once sounds like too little.
Yeah, 2 is like also good. Like, I tried twice. Try a 3rd time again. But 3 was like, okay, if you tried 3 times, let me help you. So we helped each other after we got stuck on the 3rd tries. And an intervention from a 3rd person or somebody, a party, would be much welcomed after you get stuck. Yeah, so that's what I have.
Well, I have the rule very similar to yours, but I try 4 times.
Oh, Mr. Crazy here.
Yeah.
That's
a
good.
little bit of extra mile.
That's good.
Extra delusion sometimes.
Well, you have more experience. It probably works for you better.
Well, sometimes it's wasted a lot of time as well. So.
Okay. Yeah.
But from other side, like if it's wasted time or you are trying something and like it didn't work, is it wasted time? It's not a wasted time. You learn things, and now you can pivot.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Patrick, I want to thank you for your truth and philosophy and Apple Music and your anecdotes, stories, and experiences. It was a pleasure for me to listen to you, to enjoy your narratives, and to hear about your methods of life, your scripts, and your ways of doing things.
Thank you.
You're a good friend, and turns out you're also a very good podcaster. So thank you very much for this experience.
Thank you so much.
And I invite you to eat some soup with tea.
Perfect.
After this amazing podcast.
Perfect. Very much appreciated. Thank you for having me. It was a true joy. All right, cut. One more time. Nice.
Perfect.
Nice. Okay.